Welcome back to Riding Bikes in San Diego. Here we are on Lake Murray. But for a minute, instead of going all the way down to the 8, we're looking for alternatives. I'm exploring different routes to go after the experience with the maniac who told me he was going to kill me with his car the other day. So this is the next day. Turns out when you get over to Lake Murray, it's gorgeous, but you can't ride. There's no path and crossing by this water treatment plant on the east side of the lake. I wish there was, because that staircase was looking pretty inviting. I was going to check it out, but then you can't see it on the video, but I saw that there's fencing going way down into the water also. So I decided to come down Lake Murray, and this is the turning lane that would go on the freeway, but instead I'm going to dip around and I'm going to try going into these back roads for a second. I looked on my map for a while, and it's hard to tell exactly how to get around. I started climbing up this kind of a beast of a hill, but then I decided better of it, and after I got up for a while, I came back down and started going on here. I make this right, and I'm going to explore. I know that the next crossing of the 8 is over at College Avenue, which actually brings me to an idea that I was thinking about. But let me just show you the route I was thinking about for a second on this. So here we are. We started at that Shell station that you see off to the right. Probably right about now we're near that symbol, that brown and white symbol. And we're going to dip up around there, which is actually elevation up this hill, and then smooth out when we get around a couple of corners here. Part of me is like, I like not having impatient drivers behind me going over the freeway. And another part of me is like, this is a pretty narrow residential street, and there's a shoulder here, but this is not a bike lane. And I would imagine, I don't want to judge the people who live here. I'm sure they're fine people. But I imagine that they drive here without the expectation that people are riding, because this is not designed for bicycles either, right? This is designed for, drivers to pass each other on either side, which again, doesn't make anybody bad people. But I'm looking for an alternative route that is possibly safer for me. And we don't have that. The reason I go over the 8 at Lake Murray and up 70th is because 70th has a bike lane, Lake Murray has a bike lane. It's the crossing where Caltrans is that's the problem. And then I have bike lanes almost the whole way. Here, I'm in a residential neighborhood. Not as many people driving cars, but, I feel like when they do, they're trying to get home. I would imagine that they're close to their homes because there isn't anything else over here. There's no businesses. This is a solid residential neighborhood, which means that I feel like the people over here, don't have the expectation that there are going to be a lot of pedestrians, maybe except people walking their dogs, and anybody riding their bicycle through. Maybe recreational. I don't know. Maybe people in this neighborhood also commute, but there is a lot of climbing and a lot of dropping, and there's the freeway right there. You can see it. As a matter of fact, I wanted to point this out. We are on the freeway right now, which we're riding parallel. We're on the north side. On the south side is Alvarado Rd. And Alvarado goes between 70th and College Avenue. And Alvarado has a transit stop midway through it. It has a trolley stop. So, got me thinking. And I'm going to show you that map again just so that we're all on the same page. That driver passing was going pretty quick, huh? So, check out. You see where the 8 is, kind of to the left of the middle? Just across the way, a little down, there's that little blue symbol. That's the transit stop. So as much as I love, telling you about the problems on the road, sometimes I want to provide a solution also. What if where the road is just across from the transit stop, which is a road called Bromley, what if there was a pedestrian bike bridge that went over the freeway to connect this neighborhood, this residential area of Del Cerro, to the transit stop? I'm just thinking about all the people up here who might want to ride on their bicycles 2 places but are scared of crossing over at College Avenue or back over at 70th. What about the people who want to live here and access the trolley line? What about the people who maybe go to San Diego State? A little bridge here just for pedestrians and people on bicycles could really be fantastic. Also, it would allow me to take the bike lane that is on Alvarado up into the transit stop at Reservoir, cross over, and then hang out through the neighborhood. And then when I have to get on Lake Murray, I would just make a turn at the light, a left turn, and I'd be back in the bike lane in about 100 feet. So that's just an idea. But enough of the map. Let me show you this hill that we're going up now. I should have known by looking at the map, but we're in Del Cerro. I got to climb up this hill if I want to connect back over to something that goes over the 8 freeway. And it's quite a bit of a climb, so I'm on a bike with gears. It's okay. But once again, it's a residential neighborhood, which means low traffic, but it also means that people might not have the expectation of seeing people on bicycles. I would really just love to be on the main roads that sometimes are designed for both people driving cars and people on bikes to use. But it's pretty low stress. It's just quite a bit of a climb. And after I am at work all day, I really would love to just hit like 1 or 2 hills on my way, which I already have to hit a couple. Like Lake Murray is not flat. It's mostly a downhill, but you have a couple of uphills, and then of course I usually go up 70th, and then after I take Montezuma all the way through the college area, I go way down the hill to Fairmount, but then I do have to climb a hill up into the mid-city area. But that's okay. That's part of why I do it. It feels good to ride and know the typography of where you live, know just why things are built the way they're built. This neighborhood is really kind of tucked back up here. There's not a lot of access. I wonder how people living here would feel about having a pedestrian or bicycle connection over to that transit stop. I think it would be really wonderful. And of course there's some engineering involved, and but I think that's less tedious and less work and less cost than building some sort of road that cars would use. Just give people access via bike and walking, and I think that could be really fantastic. I love solutions like that. I love it when there's a way to, hey, listen, people in cars, you don't want somebody biking on the road with you, then there has to be an alternative, and that alternative also has to be safe. So I'm just trying to think of ways to solve the problem. I want to be comfortable. I want to be in a place that I know I'm safe. I've said it before on this channel. I'll say it again. I don't want to be in anybody's way. I'm going to stop at this stop sign. That person was giving me a little delay, but they had time. I'm going slow. So they go, I go. We are now up on Del Cerro Boulevard, and we're going to connect over to College area. And if you come back in tomorrow, I'll probably show you a video of what it's like to bike on College Avenue. Spoiler, it might not be better. But from here, we are going to drive less and ride a bike. Thanks so much.